Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the training week from March 24th, where you already know what the focus and the highlight was. This was the week of destiny. The last 3 months at the forefront of my training, at the forefront of my life and my very existence has been this dream Pegan Kolman connection. And on Tuesday, you're gonna see it done, fam. You're gonna see it done. To celebrate, we're gonna watch the 4 men that have done it prior to myself. It's possible there's been more, but we only have clips from 4. So we're gonna watch that right after this Monday session. And you know, right off the bat, just such massive respect to anyone competing any sort of Kovac type connections. You know, nobody's competed the Pegan Kolman connection. And the only thing that's ever been connected out of a Pegan in competition is a Rebalko to Al grip by Vlasius Maras and alias Pegan himself. But man, I can't imagine standing before a routine to do like even a Kovac Kolman. One of the reasons this one was such a big deal for me was I've never actually caught any connections that are flipping over the bar. I've done a couple of Kachevs in a row, straddle Kachev, straddle half, pike Kachev into straddle Kachev. And I've experimented with like Kolman Gaylord 2, even Kolman. Those are the 2 that I was working here and there, but I never caught the second one. So, you know, strangely enough, the first time ever catching a Kovac type connection was actually a really hard variation, where the first one's going forwards and halving out, and then the second one being a Kolman. I think the first person to connect Kovacs, or at least one of the first people, was Andreas Wecker. I think he won 96 Atlanta Olympics on high bar, and I've never seen the clip of him first competing Kovacs, but I did hear it in some, ouchies on the ankle. I did hear it in some commentating. So I don't think it was a World Championships because I've watched all of those. It must have been a World Cup where he first debuted the Kovacs to Kovacs connection. The next person that comes in mind is Valery Goncharov from Ukraine. He did Kovacs to Kolman first in competition. I'm pretty sure that he was first. And then after him, you started to see it. You started to see a little bit more. Epke Zonderland comes to mind. And man, just deep respect to anyone doing connections. This is amazing. One of the things we're going to watch next week is there's a clip of Epke doing 5 Kovacs in a row. Not the 4 that you might know. There's a famous clip, but there's 5. And Koji Uematsu doing 4 in a row in a competition. But first, we're going to celebrate. The first to ever do this connection, I'm pretty sure I have the order here correct, was Alexander Bachinkov from Bulgaria. And this was like, I want to say this was over a decade ago. Tyson Bull, I think, did it second, Australian high bar master. Takaaki Sugino from Japan. And
come on,
Joe Fraser.
yes, let's go. Oh my!
Big hype. And here it was, fam. And here's Misha training specifically to get this dream done. Started things off with a warmed up pike Gaylord. First Pegan was on. A little bit on the far side, pretty much fingertip. And here we are, fam. Little did I know it's about to happen. Oh my God. Let's just watch it. I remember distinctly taking 2 big breaths after I caught it, like adrenaline breaths, like and I don't know why I did that, and then I just freaked out. I couldn't believe that it just happened. I couldn't believe it just happened. At this stage, my eyes are watering up. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm freaking out, still in disbelief. Laughing now, laughing, crying, all of it coming out. Like I said, emotional release. Emotional release. And as you might expect, I didn't have much of a sesh after that. That was just, if you look in the corner, you'll see my eyes are red. The cell phone footage is up on the Patreon. Both clips, raw and unfiltered, are up on the Patreon. One from my iPad, one from my cell phone, where you can see my crying face. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Probably for 3 days I was just, what's the word? It was just 3 days of, on cloud nine, just weightless. All this weight lifted off my shoulders. So there you go, fam. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for following me. This was probably at least one of the biggest moments of my sporting life. This one was huge. This one tops Maris. Maris was massive hype. And interestingly, Maris was in a similar time of the year. I think Maris was 2020, was it 2 or 2023? And it was around that February. I think I caught it in Feb. And here we are with this one in March. But, Maris was just one single skill. And I'm a pretty decent judge of distance, when I'm doing a single release. But like I said, I have zero experience catching a second consecutive Kovacs. So, it's a wild guessing game. So this one was so much more intense. The level of concentration, focus, mental preparation, physical preparation for each of those Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturday sessions where I was sending the connection, it was easily on par to my state before like a Tokyo Olympic Games or before big world championships. Easily on par. I was focused. I was zoned deep. And it took a massive toll. There's some funny shenanigans that you'll see on Friday. So now, the question is, where to from here? The plan was always, after I catch, to give Maris another try to see if I can catch a clean Maris with, feet together, and then move on to the Kudanov 2 project, which would be the layout full twisting Gaylord, which with all these upgrades might be given a J if it's ever done. Is it possible to do? I don't know, but I didn't know if Pegan Kolman was possible. I knew for my body it was possible, but there was never a guarantee that I was ever going to catch it. But Kudanov 2 is it's possible, but again, I don't know if I can catch it. Last time I trained it was probably 2020, 2021. There was a period where I was sometimes touching the bar. One time I grabbed the bar. You can see it on my Instagram highlights. It's just called Kudanov 2 in one of those bubbles. But I didn't hang on, so it's definitely possible. But I don't want to just move on from this connection yet. I'm gonna take as long as I need to kind of get my composure back and see if I can do it again. See how many, see if I can improve it. Do it cleaner. To do it clean would be like a secondary dream come true. It's just such a cool looking connection in my eyes. So I'm gonna pursue it a bit more. And what I'm thinking is, I don't have to just do one thing at a time. Obviously I have to start building my routine for the season, which was it actually this week. I think I made the whole high bar routine, like a skeleton routine without Stalder and without Zoli. But so here you see me jumping up onto the bar and missing, and I didn't think anything of it at all. What happens, move the mat up so I have a higher mat to jump from. Jumped again and not even close. And at this moment I'm just like, okay, I'm exhausted. So you can tell I had to reach with one hand in the other, and I actually had to put a conscious effort just to jump up onto the bar. And I thought, man, is my body telling me not to do Gaylords today? But you know, if you don't at least do something, it's all gonna go downhill real quick, and you're gonna lose your shape, your fitness level, your strength level. So I made it a point just to at least do a couple and focus on what I can, legs together, nice visual, take the pressure away from catching. And a week later, I'm kind of back to it. So yeah, hit a whole high bar routine on Saturday, surprisingly, without Zoli and without Stalder. Funny, right? You can do a Pegan Kolman, but you can't do a Stalder. So I'm going to build up the Stalder slowly, because Stalder hurts. So not going to rush into it. It's a skill that, you know, you don't need to. I know I can get a Stalder, but because it hurts, I'm not just going to do the whole thing. I'm going to spend plenty of time doing those circles and ease my way back into it. And that goes to show you, you know, specificity is really important. You can get really good at doing one thing, but it doesn't mean you're going to be good at another. And you really do have to train the things that you want to use or compete, even easy skills. I'm sure there are guys out there who you know, they can just go and do things like a Stalder straight away, but Stalder and Endo, I've never been one of those guys. I have to work it, otherwise I'm going to lose my pull. I'm going to lose some of my core strength. And I hope you can appreciate it that I'm not exactly the most, you know, naturally, physically talented type. I work really hard and really consistently to maintain myself. So the routine you're going to see today is going to be minus the Zoli and minus the Stalder. And the fitness felt okay. The Zoli men's going to be in a similar boat. I am just going to probably take another 4-week cycle or 2 before I try it by itself, and then maybe another 4-week cycle after that before I put it into the routine. So not rushing there, just trying to get this so-called skeleton routine a bit more consistent first. And this may have been the one. Yeah, I think this was the one. Still got to commit to those legs together. We saw Andreas Brettschneider and Kohei Uchimura last week catching really close and maintaining form. Next week we're going to see what I mentioned. We're going to see Epke doing 5 in a row in the gym in training, which I think is a clip that not many people have actually seen. And we're going to watch Koji Uematsu doing 4 Kovac skills in a row in a competition. So we'll save that for next week because this video is quite long and I don't want to make it even longer. But I think we're finishing up here. Also, got a whole P-bar routine on Saturday with the giant diameter. Still messy and the dismount was overcooked. But that was the first time I've gone all the way through. So I think I've done a fairly good job at, you know, balancing my dream training, just focusing on Pegan Kolman, but still doing just enough routine content that I'm, you know, progressing in getting my competition routine ready in time for TriStar Champs, which is going to be our World Championships trial in near the end of June. And the P-bar routine is coming up shortly. Giant DIME getting better by itself. You can still see a little foot separation as I initiate the twist, so there's going to be more work to be done. It's going to be tough doing it 6th. It's going to be tough doing it 6th, and right now, you know, I can take my time doing the grip, you know, fix it up. But when you're in a competition, once the judges are ready, you got 30 seconds to get started. It can be difficult to get the grip to your liking because you're in a rush. And when you're in a rush, you know, you can mess up the chalk-honey ratio. And there's been plenty of competitions where I've had to go on bad grip and had a bad, like, peach 1 bar as a result. 2018 World Champs comes to mind. You can find my routine on YouTube because Fig has all the individual routines on the channel. And if memory serves me right, I think I made it straight away, but it was just extremely planchy. Extremely planchy. And the routine was a bit of a mess. So that's my first time going all the way through, post-op. So that's the week, fam. That's the week. I'm still trying to gather myself to get back in training, but you know, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everything. Thank you to my body. Thank you to every cell in my body. Thank you. Gratitude that I was able to come together and get through this dream training safely. Thank you for watching. All the best, and until next time.